Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining us here on This Is Now. Governor Josh Green is just wrapping up a press conference on his intent to line item veto and reduce a bill related to the state budget.
Now, House Bill 300 appropriates funds for fiscal biennium 2023 to 2025 to pay for operations and capital improvement projects of executive branch agencies and programs. Here's what the governor had to say earlier today.
We have to keep enough money in the rainy day fund for our state. We have $1 billion. The legislature at the time was able to make it $2 billion. We're going to restrict that over 2 years, and we're going to split the difference. We will be at $1.5 billion in our rainy day fund, which positions us perfectly at 15% of our budget to handle, God forbid, if we have a hurricane or some other disaster. There are other projects that will have to come later. You'll see some significant reductions in spending on the tech park. It's not going to be just yet. There is need to enhance our capacity to deal with crises, but that is a very open-ended, large expense, and we have to be a little bit careful. So we're going to focus on the priorities of housing, healthcare, education, and climate, and then we're going to keep coming back to these other issues in the subsequent years.
What we would like to do is just go ahead and start the process. This is a 10-day notification to the legislature of our intent to make line item reductions, and we will have that discussion going forward. And then by the time that the governor signs the budget bill, hopefully everything is resolved at this point in time. So as it stands, and what the governor did just say is that we are constitutionally bound to actually pass a balanced budget. And therefore, in terms of doing that, we did need to make reductions, approximately $500 million in each year of the fiscal year, upcoming biennium, in order to get us to that carryover balance number of $500 million in each year.
We are going to pull back on some of the larger appropriations and planning.
Now, our Daryl Huff is there at the state capitol and is working to gather some reaction to all of this, and we will have more coming up on later editions of Hawaii News Now.